Welcome, welcome, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on an incredible journey, really right into the heart of American music. We're going deep on an artist whose sound, whose power still echoes today. We are talking about McKinley Morganfield, but you definitely know him better as the one, the only Muddy Waters.
That's right, a true giant.
So let's really get into this legend. Muddy Waters, he wasn't just a blues musician. He was, well, a titan, a figure who didn't just play the blues, he fundamentally reshaped it. People literally call him the father to many legends of blues and rock. And his sound, it just rippled out, through folk, jazz, country, even hip hop, believe it or not. Just shows how wide his reach was.
It's really fascinating, isn't it, how one-man style, so vivid, energetic, heavy, electrifying, people called it raining down Delta Beatitude.
Delta Beatitude, I like that. Captures it perfectly.
It does. And that sound became the bedrock for so much that followed. His whole journey, from a Mississippi Delta sharecropper to this global icon, it's unique. Shows what raw talent can do when it gets a chance.
Absolutely. And to guide you through this, we've gathered a ton of material, official biographies, interviews, historical records, articles, all detailing his pretty remarkable life. Our mission for you listening is to pull out the really surprising stuff, the key moments, the insights that define Muddy Waters, give you that shortcut to understanding why he still matters so much.
And
Ready? We might bust a few myths.
Definitely.
Okay, so where does a giant like Muddy Waters begin? Well, it starts right at the roots. McKinley Morganfield, born April 4th, 1915, though there's some debate, maybe 1913.
Right, the records weren't always perfect back then.
Exactly. On a plantation near Rolling Fork, Mississippi Delta. And get this, the Delta Blues Museum, it stands right there today. Talk about full circle.
Wow.
And that name, Muddy Waters, it's got these really humble, kind of sweet beginnings, doesn't it?
It does. Very down to earth.
Comes from his grandmother, Della Grant. Called him Muddy because, well, he loved playing in the mud as a kid. Simple as that.
You can just picture it.
Yeah. And then Waters got added by friends at school. They basically christened a legend without knowing it. Some folks even called him the Mud.
And that connects right back to what you were saying about roots. That idea of his music growing from that very soil. It wasn't just background noise.
No, it was everything.
Being a sharecropper, having musical talent in the family, his dad, Ollie Morganfield, played guitar. His cousin, Reverend Willie Morganfield, was a gospel recording artist. That gave him such an authentic, soulful foundation.
It was baked in from the start.
Absolutely. You can't really separate the music from that life, the Delta life,
Yeah.
the struggles, the sound, the feeling.
Yeah, that grit, that authenticity. Can you talk a bit more about how that sharecropper life specifically translated into his sound? The rhythms, maybe.
Well, think about the rhythm of the work itself. The call and response in churches, the spirituals sung out in the fields. These weren't just songs. They were expressions of life, of survival, hope, pain. And Muddy's music, even when it got loud and electric, it always had that raw, visceral feel. That's why his guitar could sound like it was growling, why his voice had that edge, both pleading and defiant. It was felt deeply, a direct line from that life.
You can really hear it when you listen closely. He was, like you said, a blues baby, starts on harmonica at age 7. By 13, he's already rocking parties.
Incredible.
Immersed in all the Delta greats, Blind Lemon Jefferson, Son House, Robert Johnson, Charlie Patton. Imagine that scene. He apparently walked 10 miles just to see the Mississippi Sheiks play.
10 miles. That's dedication.
That tells you everything, right? Total passion. And his first guitar, a Stella acoustic, bought for just $2.50.
The $2.50. Amazing.
Shows you how grassroots it was. Then, by 18, he opens his own juke joint on the Stovall plantation. Not just a bar, but a real community hub, a sanctuary for sharecroppers.
A vital space. Music as resilience.
Exactly. A way to cope, to connect, to live through the blues. Okay, let's shift gears, because here's where things get really interesting. A pivotal moment in 1941.
Lomax.
Yep. Musicologist Alan Lomax, along with John Wesley Work III, they show up at Muddy Shack in Stovall. They're working for the Library of Congress, Fisk University, documenting Mississippi music. They were actually looking for Robert Johnson, the legend, but he was gone. Instead, they found Muddy.
Talk about fate.
Right. So Lomax sets up his portable gear, records Muddy right there, using a borrowed Martin acoustic. They even recorded him in his juke joint, just raw, unfiltered Muddy.
And the impact on Muddy himself, you just can't overstate it. He gets 2 test pressings in the mail, plus a check for $20.
$20. Seems small now, but then...
Huge. But more than the money, Hearing his own voice on those records, playing them over and over, he said it made him realize, I can do it.
Wow.
It wasn't just a recording. It was validation, a revelation. It really lit the fuse for his future.
That's such a powerful point. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much hinged on that one moment Lomax finding him? What did that recognition mean?
It was profound. Psychologically, more than just the cash. To be recorded, recognized by the Library of Congress. It told him his art, his personal blues, had value beyond the plantation.
Gave him the belief, maybe, that he could actually make a living from it.
Exactly, that God-given gift, as he called it. It surely fueled his determination to leave Mississippi and really pursue music. A single moment changing everything.
Incredible. And those recordings, by the way, they eventually won a Grammy, released in '93 as the Complete Plantation Recordings, 22 tracks, interviews, just pure history.
Essential listening.
Okay, let's jump ahead. Muddy moves to Chicago in 1943. He'd thought about it, but some sources say he might have actually fled Mississippi. Conflicts with plantation owners, racial tensions.
A familiar story, sadly. Seeking opportunity, but also escaping oppression.
He was determined to make it with his music, but those early Chicago days, tough. He was driving a truck, working in a paper plant during the day.
And playing gigs at night.
Tirelessly, house parties, bars, just grinding, trying to make a name for himself in this big new city.
Which leads us to that crucial next step, getting his first electric guitar. His uncle Joe Grant helped him get it sometime around 44, 45.
And this was a game changer, right?
Oh, absolutely essential. The electric guitar wasn't just like a cool new toy. It was a necessity. Think about those Chicago clubs compared to the Delta juke joints.
Louder, bigger.
Much louder, much bigger, way more noise. He had to cut through that chatter to be heard.
So amplification wasn't just about a different sound, it was about pure projection.
Precisely. It let him take that raw Delta sound and make it hit harder. You know, it basically laid the foundation for Chicago blues. That amplified sound had an aggressive edge, demanded attention. It let his music fill those bigger spaces.
You can almost hear that shift happening. And he starts putting together his band, Otis Spann on piano, the great little Walter on harmonica.
What a lineup. The birth of that sound.
And established guys like Big Bill Broonzy noticed. Broonzy actually helped Muddy get gigs on the South Side, opened some doors for him.
Which brings us to another key moment. 1947, linking up with Leonard and Phil Chess. They just acquired Aristocrat Records,
Which soon became the legendary Chess Records.
the label that defined an era.
And a little detail from those early Chess is his electric guitar got stolen.
Oh, wow.
He replaced it with a Gretsch Synchromatic, kind of jazzy, but he electrified it with a Darman pickup. Gave that sharp, cutting tone. Shows his resourcefulness.
Definitely. But success wasn't instant, even at Chess. His first few tracks like Gypsy Woman, Little Anna May, they didn't quite take off. But then came the breakthrough. I Can't Be Satisfied. I Feel Like Going Home. Those are the ones that really put him on the map in Chicago. It shows his perseverance, you know.
Yeah.
He kept at it until he found that magic formula.
So what was it about those songs, I Can't Be Satisfied, I Feel Like Going Home? Was it the lyrics, the sound?
I think it was a mix of things. The lyrics really spoke to that feeling of being displaced, the Delta migrant experience in the city. That resonated. And the Chess brothers, along with their engineer Al Nally, they captured this incredibly raw sound, less polished than other stuff at the time. It fit Muddy perfectly.
And his playing.
Yeah, on that electrified Gretsch, it had this heavy, almost distorted feel. It was revolutionary, just growled. It was the sound of the city, but with those deep Delta roots. Perfect storm, really.
And what a storm it was. Those legendary Chess hits followed. I'm Hoochie Coochie Man, Manish Boy, Got My Mojo Workin'. Just absolute classics.
Foundational tracks for rock and roll.
And during this time, his main axe was often a Gibson Les Paul, a 52 Gold Top with those P90 pickups.
The P90s, that fat, gritty sound, that is the Chicago blues tone. Aggressive, powerful, changed everything.
And just to show you his drive, his band had a daily radio show, 6 a.m. on KFFA in Helena, Arkansas. King Biscuit Time.
King Biscuit Time, still legendary. Imagine hearing that raw electric blues over the radio first thing in the morning across the Delta.
It was groundbreaking, reaching people who couldn't get to the clubs, pushing amplified blues into the mainstream.
Absolutely democratized the sound.
So, okay, step back. Big picture. What does all this mean for music history? Muddy wasn't just in the blues. He was, like we said, the father, launched careers, inspired legends. The influence is just immense.
It really is profound. You look at the Rolling Stones, they named themselves after his song Rollin' Stone.
Oh, right. Can't get more direct than that.
Jimi Hendrix called Muddy the archetype of a guitar player. Clapton, Johnny Winter, they saw him as a father figure. Led Zeppelin's Whole Lotta Love, based on Willie Dixon's You Need Love, which Muddy recorded first.
That list is just staggering. It makes you think how much modern music carries Muddy's DNA without us even realizing it.
It's almost impossible to measure. He created a blueprint, didn't he? For the electric band, the charismatic frontman, blending storytelling with that visceral sound.
Yeah.
Every distorted guitar riff, every bluesy vocal in rock. It traces back through him. His musical language just became part of the vocabulary. It's embedded, sometimes subconsciously, in so much rock and pop, we're still hearing echoes of Muddy.
Incredible. And he wasn't static either. He navigated the changing scene in the late 50s. Alan Freed's Moondog House show, the one that coined rock and roll, Muddy was headlining Freed's unsegregated concerts back in 1954.
That's huge. Performing for mixed-race audiences then, playing blues. A significant cultural moment.
Then there's that first England tour in 1958. Hilarious, almost. His loud electric sound totally shocked the audience. They were expecting quiet, acoustic folk blues.
Yeah, can you imagine? They'd mostly heard the old field recordings. Then Muddy plugs in the Haas, his Telecaster, and just lets rip. It must have been a jolt.
Huh. So what did he do? He recorded an acoustic album, Muddy Waters, folk singer, specifically to bridge that gap. Showed his versatility, won over new fans.
Smart move. It wasn't compromising. It was showing mastery of his Ruth and his electric sound, proving he could do both. And the Haas, that Telecaster, became iconic itself.
He kept collaborating too, right? Pushing boundaries, working with British rockers like Rory Gallagher, Steve Winwood on the London Muddy Waters sessions.
Yeah, in 72. And before that, Fathers and Sons in 69 with Mike Bloomfield and Paul Butterfield. That one actually charted, hit #70 on Billboard.
Reaching a whole new generation, bridging blues and rock.
Exactly. Kept him relevant, kept the music evolving.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The 70s brought challenges. Chess records got sold, and Muddy actually had to sue the label for unpaid royalties, and he won.
That lawsuit is so important and often gets glossed over. It highlights the exploitation so many black artists faced, fighting for fair pay for the music they created.
A fight that sadly continued for his estate long after he was gone. Decades of legal battles over royalties. A tough shadow on his legacy.
It's a really somber but crucial part of the story. It shows the power imbalances in the industry. For Muddy, the guy who practically defined the genre, to have to fight like that, it's telling. And the estate battle just underlines that tragedy.
It really does put the struggles behind the music into focus. But that wasn't the end. Muddy had this amazing late career comeback.
Thanks in large part to Johnny Winter.
Right. Winter, a huge admirer, helped get him signed to Blue Sky Records in 77. And that partnership, pure gold. Produced Hard Again in 77, I'm Ready in 78. Both won Grammys.
Totally revitalized his career, showed everyone the fire was still burning bright.
And what's amazing is his commitment, right to the end. Even with health issues, he kept going. His last studio album, King Bee, came out in 81.
Yeah, despite some production issues, salary disputes with musicians apparently,
Yeah.
but he was still creating and performing. Sharing stages with Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Ronnie Wood, Clapton in 81, 82.
Incredible. Just that sheer love for playing the blues.
That unwavering commitment to the craft, even when things were tough physically, it's truly inspiring. That spirit.
He passed away on April 30th, 1983. He was 70, cancer-related complications. And like we said, the legal fights over his estate went on for years.
A difficult end note to that part of the story.
But his spirit, his music, it lives on so strongly. His kids, Larry Mudd Morganfield, Big Bill Morganfield, Joseph Mojo Morganfield, they carry on the tradition.
Keeping the flame alive.
And the tributes. They're everywhere. ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons making guitars from the wood of Muddy's old cabin on Stovall.
The Muddy Wood guitars.
Yeah.
Raising $1 million for the Delta Blues Museum. That's a beautiful full circle.
Isn't it? He's in the Blues Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award.
Streets named after him in Chicago and Westmont, Illinois.
A U.S. postage stamp, a plaque on the Clarksdale Walk of Fame, even a 10-story mural in Chicago.
His presence is undeniable, woven into the fabric of American music history.
And maybe the best way to sum it all up is with his own words. That quote.
The quote about the blues being his religion. It says it all.
He said, "There was a time when I had the blues. I mean, I really had it bad. but today I can pay my rent and I can pay the light bill and I still got the blues. So I must have been born with them. That's my religion. The blues is my religion.
Perfect. It encapsulates everything: the struggle, the survival, the art form as life itself.
From that Mississippi sharecropper to a global icon, his journey, his influence, it's just staggering. Raw talent, dedication, and that deep, deep connection to the blues.
Absolutely. His sound, born in the Delta, electrified Chicago, then set the world alight,
Yeah.
created this lineage that's still thriving, still inspiring.
Yeah.
And his story, it makes you think, doesn't it? It raises that important question. What more do we owe artists like Muddy, foundational figures who shaped everything we listen to? How do we truly honor their legacy, not just the music, but the battles they fought for recognition, for fairness?
That is a powerful thought to leave you with. What stands out to you from Muddy Waters' incredible life? How do you hear that Delta beatitude, as you called it, in the music you love today? Maybe it's a riff, a feeling, that raw spirit. Keep listening, keep digging deeper. Until next time on The Deep Dive.